4 tips to avoid email and social media overload. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Future in 5. My name is Jacob Morgan. This is where I share thoughts, ideas, and commentary on the future of work, usually in 5 minutes or less. This episode of The Future in 5 is brought to you by the folks over at Targus. They are huge believers and champions and change agents around this concept of enabling flexible work. To help support that initiative, they do all sorts of and offer all sorts of really interesting things, whether it's carrying cases for your laptops, peripherals for your devices or computers, or various accessories such as docking stations to enable flexible work. They really believe in this concept, so check them out at targus.com. Chances are you might already even have a Targus product at your house and not even know about it. So thanks to the folks over at Targus for making this episode possible. So I wanted to share 4 tips that at least I have found to be quite helpful to help avoid the email and social media overload. Now, as somebody that is technically considered a freelancer or a flexible work person, I work from home, I have a home office, I have a little studio here. It's very easy, at least for me, and I'm sure for you, to get very overwhelmed with checking your email, checking social media notifications, and quite honestly, it becomes a little bit exhausting. I know, at least for me, there were times in the past where you just spend all your time on email and social media, and then the hours go by, it's time for lunch, and sooner or later your whole day has gone by, you haven't gotten anything done, and you kind of wonder where your time went. And a lot of it goes to social media, a lot of it goes to checking email. So I want to share 4 tips that I personally have found to be quite helpful. I've offered these tips to other people, and they say it's helped them as well, so I wanted to share them with you. So, tip number 1. Disable notifications on your smartphone. I know, I said it. Try disabling notifications, email notifications, social media notifications. I don't get any of that on my iPhone. If that's very hard for you to do, get rid of your iPhone. Get a flip phone instead. But if you disable those notifications, you're not going to keep, looking down at your pocket every 5 seconds. You're not going to walk around like this, staring at notifications all the time. So I think that is going to be very helpful. Tip number 2, do not sleep with your iPhone or your smartphone. The number one thing that most people do when they wake up in the morning, check their phone. Number one thing most people do before they go to bed at night, check their phone. Do not sleep with your phone in the same room. I have my phone downstairs and far, far away from me so that even if I wanted to reach it in the morning or at night, I cannot. If you use it for an alarm clock, go get yourself a cheap $5 alarm clock. Do not keep that phone next to you. It'll keep you from checking your notifications, from checking social, from checking your email. Tip number 3. If you are going to use social media, if you're going to use email, which I'm sure all of you will, try to batch times that you allocate during the day to do that. Now, for me, it's a little bit easier because I have an assistant that I work with, and so I only check email once a day at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Throughout the day, she checks emails for me, and if she sees anything urgent, she'll notify me. I realize not everybody has the luxury of working with an assistant, so instead of doing it once a day, maybe you do it 3 or 4 times a day, but set aside specific times for you to do it. Maybe you do it at 9 o'clock in the morning, at noon, and then at 4 o'clock or at 3 o'clock before you leave for the day. But set aside specific chunks during the day for you to check social media and for you to check email. That way you're not constantly checking it during the day, and you know that you have set times that are allocated specifically for that. That way the rest of the time during the day you can actually spend working. Tip number 4. Do not mix your technology and your devices in human-to-human related activities. What I mean by that, if you are eating dinner with somebody, if you are having a conversation with somebody, if you are engaged in some sort of a human relationship, a human dialogue, a human, whatever you want to call it. If there are two people that are clearly engaged in something, do not take out your phone. Do not take out your devices. Do not check email. Do not start tweeting. If you can, try even avoid taking a selfie together, right? Maybe you do that after the conversation's over. But when you have this kind of human connection, this human to human thing going on, try to just focus on that and leave your technology away. Keep it in your pocket, keep it in a backpack somewhere, leave it at your desk. But try not to do that. I can tell you at least, all of this is from personal experience, but I have been at dinner oftentimes with people where, you're having a conversation with somebody and they're kind of like, yeah, that's great. Sure, yeah. And you clearly are just, you don't want to be in, you don't want to be having a meal with that person, right? They're just totally disengaged, they're checked out. Maybe it's just me and I'm not fun and charismatic and engaging enough for them to put down their phone and look at me. But still, you don't want to be that person and you don't want to be at dinner with that type of a person. So those are my 4 tips for avoiding email and social media overload. Let's see if I remember the 4. Number 1, number 1 was disable notifications from your phone. Number 2 is do not sleep next to your phone. Number 3 is set up batch times to check email and to use social media. And tip number 4 is to focus on the human to human engagement when it is there and leave the technology away. All right, I remembered I'm 4, very proud of myself. So that's it for me for this episode of The Future in 5. Leave me a comment below, let me know what you think. Do you have another tip that you use that you would recommend to help others not get overwhelmed with email and social media? If you do, again, leave me a comment, I'd love to hear it. If you want to sponsor a series of content, email me, jacob@thefutureorganization.com. And if you want more episodes of these videos, of podcasts, of articles, of other things that I'm doing, you can visit thefutureorganization.com. And last but not least, make sure to visit the folks over at targus.com, Targus. They are making this episode of The Future in 5 possible. And check out some of the really cool things that they offer to help enable flexible work. I'll see you guys next time. Hey, are you interested in the future of work? If so, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get all the latest content on the future of work and stay up to date on all the latest trends and happenings. Not to mention, you will make me very, very happy. Make sure to subscribe.